How long
Yeah,
were you
I,
with
I opened
them?
3 in 3 years. They were the number one, number two, and number three fastest growing practices they'd ever seen.
What was unique about what you were doing with these three that they were the fastest growing?
We did things nobody else did.
When you say you did things nobody else did, what do you mean?
We operated extended hours.
Oh, I see.
We put ourselves in locations that other dentists, we did retail locations. Like, you can't do that. You got to go into medical office parks. That's where everybody
I
else
see.
goes.
Hmm.
And you'll never get your money back on that location. We had people walk in every day that paid for it, and so we
I
took a patient-centric approach.
Yeah. Okay, you beat me because I was going to say what I had a hypothesis of probably what led you to do some of those things of extended hours or the location placements.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what was the North Star in your decision making that was guiding those changes to what was the norm in your industry?
I guess one thing that you could say is that I just didn't want to be like everybody else. And I was
Okay.
so committed to my own success, to the success of what we were doing, that I recognized that I had to listen to what, not just what people said, what patients say, but also what they respond to. And I broke the
Mm,
mold and I said, listen, like, I've spent my life saying I want to be different than everybody else is for you as a customer and give you what you really want. And that's what we
yeah.
did. We figured
Yeah.
our whole commitment was, what do we have to do to make it easy for you to say yes to something that you honestly aren't excited to do? I was
Mm,
selling dentistry. Who's sitting
yes.
there right now saying, I'm so excited to go to my dentist? I appreciated that. Nobody wants to be with me, but they do want their experience with us to be as good as possible. And so, like, how do you balance
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. I love the focus that you're bringing up of doing things that were outside of the norm, not just to be different, although I know you've cited that a little bit, but really because you want to stand out in the
Yeah.
sea of options that your customer has available. And I would assume the whole reason why you did extended hours was because people were saying, "Hey, it's difficult for me to make it into the office during the workday, right?
You got
I
it.
want to."
And you know what
Yeah,
else I knew? I knew that nobody else in my area did it.
yeah,
And so when you sit there and you say, "Hey, everybody's already full on patients. You ain't gonna get no patients." I said,
yeah,
"Well, actually, what I did is I took their patients." And you know what? I had patients tell me that all the time. I'm like, "Hey, Mrs. Smith, it's great to meet you. Tell me a little bit why you picked our practice." And they're like, "Listen, I saw Dr. Jones for 61 years, but he's only open during the day when I'm working, and you guys made it easy for
yes,
me to get in here." I'm like, "Well,
yeah. Well,
61 years, two generations, and you came to us."
you've keyed in on something, or you shared something rather, that I think it doesn't matter who you are listening to this conversation that we're having, whether you're coming from dentistry, from medical profession, or whether you're in a totally different sort of industry, and that is you garnered fast growth because you were a student of what customers wanted and you were a student of delighting customers. And I think so frequently in business, we see businesses fail because we don't listen to customers, or we build something that we think customers want, but we haven't actually gone and talked to those customers. So I love that insight. I think that's something that's really applicable for anybody, regardless
Yeah.
of whatever industry they're in.